Welcome to today's video. In this episode, we're going to discuss the exciting potential of Pulsechain and how it can make a 100x on day one. If you're interested in learning more about the launch and how to prepare for it, you've come to the right place. We'll explore the reasons behind this potential, as well as the best strategies you can use to ensure you're ready to maximize your earnings. So grab a seat and let's dive into the world of Pulsechain. But before going further, it's important to know that this video is for informational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to stay up to date with our latest videos. Now, let's get started. The first step in our strategy is to game the liquidity pools and provide liquidity. By doing so, we will be prepared for the launch of Pulse and the bridging of assets from Ethereum to Pulse. Our ultimate goal is to gain the 100x returns that we all desire. It's important to note that many people have sacrificed for PulseX more than for Pulse. It's also true that most of those who have made sacrifices for PulseX have done so in order to have the first opportunity to get Pulse when it launches. They missed the sacrifice phase for Pulse and are counting on PulseX to compensate. Therefore, when Pulse is launched, it's highly likely that some people will sell their PulseX for Pulse, which will cause the ratio between Pulse and PulseX to fluctuate. Let's start by imagining that we begin with a 1-to-1 ratio pre-bridge. Based on what we've seen so far, it's likely that many people would dump their PLSX for PLS as Pulse is expected to be more valuable than PulseX at launch. So let's simplify things for this example and say that at the end of the pre-bridge period, 1 Pulse equals 10 PulseX. The first liquidity provider will determine the prices for all the tokens on Pulse, making them the most important person in the Pulse ecosystem. In our opinion, this is because Pulse is paired with PulseX, which is paired with PHEX, which is paired with USDC on Pulse. USDC on Pulse is then paired with all the other tokens that are copied over. Therefore, if one token on Pulse has value, every token will have value, making the first liquidity pair extremely important. So, in our opinion, the best thing to do is to bridge USDC from Ethereum to Pulsechain and pair it with PulseX. If we pair the price of PulseX to the sacrifice price, which is 0.0001, then the price for 1 Pulse would be 0.001, based on the ratio that 1 Pulse is worth 10 times PulseX. This would give us an automatic 10x from the sacrifice price. But let's consider a more conservative approach. If the first liquidity provider pairs USDC from Ethereum to PulseX at a price of 0.001, then the price of PLSX would already be 10x its sacrifice price. If we combine this with the earlier ratio of 10x, then those of us who sacrifice for Pulse or PLS would be looking at a 100x price from the sacrifice point. This means that anyone who has sacrificed for Pulse would automatically see their money increase by 100 times. Let's consider the fact that many people sacrificed around 10,000 for Pulsechain during the sacrifice phase. If we 100x, that's $1 million. If the first liquidity provider sets things up correctly, and we acknowledge that the actual ratios might differ significantly, we can see that we have the potential to 100x in a short period of time if we execute the strategy effectively. That's why we believe that Pulsechain has the potential to reach a 100x increase on its launch day. Now, before we tell you the best strategies to use when launching, we have another promising project to share with you in today's video. This project is called Poolsea. Poolsea is a protocol on the Pulsechain network that features PLS staking pool, PulseX DEX aggregator, and the world's first truly decentralized stablecoin, Gold. The protocol is designed to increase the value of the deflationary pool token through daily buy and burn and auto-destroy processes. The PLS staking pool offers users an easy way to earn 4 to 18% APY on their PLS tokens while keeping them liquid. The staking process requires no coding or infrastructure setup, and staked PLS is combined with other users' PLS to form 32 million PLS for validating and securing the Pulsechain network. Additionally, staked PLS can be used to borrow Gold stablecoin with a 0% APR. Gold is the world's first fully decentralized stablecoin pegged to an ounce of gold, and Gold holders can earn by contributing to the stability pool. Lastly, Poolsea's DEX aggregator features a pathfinder that discovers the best swap prices across thousands of PulseX pairs and each commission earned with the aggregator automatically buys and burns the native pool token to increase its value. The sacrifice phase of the pool token is underway. You can participate now on Poolsea.info to make sure you get the most out of this project. Be sure not to miss out on future updates and insights by hitting the subscribe button and turning on notifications. Now let's get back to the main topic of this video. So, the first strategy involves staking single-sided PulseX from day one until the short-term all-time high is reached, which usually happens within the first 3 to 4 months of a layer 1 launch. At this point, there may be a massive sell-off, which could lead to an 80% or even greater drop in the token price. If we go off of how Hex did, we can see that it had a bit of a run-up for 5 weeks and then dropped all. Ethereum, as well as multiple different layer 1s that we can think of, such as AVAX, had something similar around the 3 to 4 month mark. So what would be our strategy personally? Well, our strategy would be if we are in the position where we are staking our PulseX, we would stake from day one up until we find what we would call an all-time high before a massive sell-off. And that would be the line, the level of price discovery that we would say is this short-term all-time high. Let's call it that. Once we see that, we're probably going to see an 80% dump-off, maybe even further than that. We would start our dump-off, work out where the all-time high is from that moment, and then 80% from that would be where we'd start to launch our DCA strategy. Typically, if we look at layer 1, it's around about the 3 to 4 month mark. We would then be looking to DCA from there on a weekly or a monthly basis. So, after the all-time high has been reached and the price has undergone a significant drop, the recommendation is to start a dollar cost averaging or DCA strategy on a weekly or monthly basis, depending on personal preferences and financial situation. By accumulating stable coins during this period, an investor can take advantage of the low prices and position themselves for the next bull run. It's important to note that there are several stable coins available, including CSD USDL and one by Power City, among others. The choice of stablecoin will depend on personal preferences and needs. In addition to the DCA strategy, it's also advisable to put in limit orders at certain amounts, such as the sacrifice price and 5x from the sacrifice price, to be ready to hit those markers if the token price experiences a significant drop. As we said before, we think Pulse and PulseX can do 100x or more on day one, but what happens may surprise us. Cryptocurrencies never go up in a straight line. There are always ups and downs. That's why you need to set small, short-term goals, which brings us to our second strategy. The second strategy is to put in some limit orders at certain amounts. For example, one could put in limit orders at the sacrifice price and at 5x from the sacrifice price. The purpose of this strategy is to have these orders ready to execute if there is a sudden drop in price, allowing you to purchase more Pulse and PulseX at a lower price. This strategy is particularly useful for those who are unable to monitor the market constantly, as it allows you to take advantage of potential price drops without having to constantly watch the market and manually make trades. By having these limit orders in place, you can automate the process and have peace of mind knowing that you have already set up your trades at the desired prices. However, it is important to note that this strategy also comes with some risks. For example, if the price does not drop to the desired levels, you may miss out on potential gains by not purchasing at a higher price. Additionally, if there's a sudden market crash, your limit orders may not execute at all if the price drops too quickly and your orders are not filled. Overall, the limit order strategy can be a useful tool for those who want to take advantage of potential price drops without having to constantly monitor the market. However, it is important to weigh the risks and benefits before implementing this strategy and to adjust your limit orders as necessary based on market conditions. That concludes our video on Pulsechain's launch and potential strategies to consider. We hope this video has provided you with valuable insights and ideas. If you want to stay informed and up to date on the latest news and developments regarding Pulsechain, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any updates. We'll keep bringing you informative content and analysis on all things related to Pulsechain. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.